Hello, it is Sunday, April 5th, 2020. Steve Cypress here. The moon is out already. We haven't even gotten to the sunset. It's just beginning. On a spectacular spring day here in sunny Arizona. Hope it's great where you are. Got up into the 80s again today. Fantastic, beautiful weekend. I know it's getting down back into the 70s next week, which is also and probably even more spectacular, beautiful weather for doing some stuff outdoors, taking a walk or a hike or a bike ride, playing some golf, doing some stuff, living life we're allowed to live life these days, but I digress. So my beautiful wife Michelle and I, this has nothing to do really with anything other than we like watching documentaries, and we watched one last night called After Hitler. And then I was talking to a friend about it, and he said he found it on YouTube. So it's somewhere online on one of the video services, but it's also on YouTube. And my goodness, as a kid, I knew people, family members that were personally in Germany and affected by the whole World War situation and in Eastern Europe, and I knew people very close to my family, close friends of the family, that had been in the concentration camps and had the number tattooed on their wrist and all that, and then I know someone locally here who owns a limo company, and he was in a concentration camp as a little boy. I asked when I met him, I said, do you have the tattoo? He said no, he was there only a week or two before the war ended and they were rescued. Not enough time for even to get cataloged. But anyway, and I thought I knew about the horrors of World War II, but this film showed unspeakable horrors that occurred just after the war ended. And I won't ruin it for you in case you want to watch it, but man, a few thoughts on it. Number one, if you think the current situation, you got this whole, first of all, one thing is people calling politicians Trump. I heard it with Obama, and he's like Hitler. He's like, look, no. Not only has that always been insulting to someone, like I said, who knew people that were personally affected by him in my family, but man, you just show a total lack of awareness of history of the world whenever you liken anybody in modern times to Hitler. And this documentary, it's disturbing. But if you watch it, you will immediately see. And by the way, I was surprised that it was in color. It was almost all in color. I thought it was going to be in black and white and, be grainy and tough to watch. And somehow they found basically all footage that was in colors. It was extremely watchable, other than how horrifying it was to learn what was going on. There weren't a lot of, it's not like a horror movie. There weren't a lot of horrible images per se, but the whole concept of what was going on was just unimaginable. So we all knew that Hitler, did all kinds of horrible things. But after the war ended, this shows what the rest of Europe, what the victors, how they lashed out at Germans after the war was over. I looked at my beautiful wife Michelle at one point. I said, this would be like a boxer wins the match, knocks the opponent out, and then after he already won, that's not good enough. Now he stomps on the guy's head while he's unconscious on the mat a whole bunch of times. It wasn't enough to win the war. If you watch this documentary, you see what the quote victors did to how they treated the Germans, and just the amazing devastation. So you hear all this nonsense now, and it's not nonsense. It's a fact that the government is claiming this is wartime, and it's like, we're invoking the War Powers Act and this, I'm a wartime president, all this BS. Like, no, okay, World War II, that was a war. This, not a war, folks. War, the horrors of that war make you realize that if you have somehow allowed yourself to become a victim and have gone into fear and panic, believing the ridiculous, hypocritical, inept, swamp-dwelling government bureaucrats, that this is somehow some unforeseen, wildly contagious, highly dangerous thing that's going on. No, it's not, of course. The panic is real. That is absolutely real. The shutdown, the damage to the economy, absolutely real. As of the last count, like, I don't know, 1 out of 1,000 Americans has this thing. Not wildly contagious. Still looking for that news story on how everybody around Tom Hanks on that movie set was diagnosed with the coronavirus. Oh, that's right. You're never going to hear that because it's not wildly contagious. It's not unprecedented virus. It's not something we've never seen. It's not something we don't know how to treat and all this kind of nonsense. Watch this documentary, After Hitler. You'll see actual devastation of an entire continent and then completely inhumane actions of man against other men and women, children. Oh, just amazing. And it makes you realize, like, we don't have it anywhere near tough or bad right now. Economically, financially, it's crazy. But physical danger, nothing. Like an actual war. Anyway, and of course the government should be, but never will be, ashamed of itself for grabbing all the power that they grab and taking away people's personal freedoms. I've gone over and over this, talk about it a lot. If I somehow have a more fear of dying in a car crash, I don't drive a car, or drive in a car. I don't somehow demand that the government confiscate all cars and stop all cars because I personally have a fear of dying in a car. Like, if you personally have a fear of catching this thing, then, don't engage in life. But don't make everybody else shut down the entire economy. That's going to ruin a hell of a lot more lives than this virus ever could by any stretch of the imagination. Anyway, that's it for Sunday Fun Day. If you like documentaries and you like learning about history, especially if you have kids, not really young kids, this is a little disturbing, but, they don't teach this stuff in the schools. I was surprised. I thought I knew all about the war, and I did not know about this 5-year period after the war, which a lot of it was just amazing. Amazing. And history will repeat itself if people don't take the time to study it and understand what was going on so it doesn't repeat itself. So I highly recommend it. And that's my Sunday Fun Day rant here as the moon is up, the sun is going down. Another beautiful weekend here in sunny Arizona. Hope it was great for you. And I'll be back tomorrow. I've chosen one piece so far. I might pick out another one from that landed in my mailbox this week to illustrate some points, to teach some effective advertising, marketing, and sales strategies and tactics. And I hope you will join me then. Over and out. Bye-bye.